All right, man, peace. So in light of the current sex scandals in Hollywood involving Kevin Spacey and Harvey Weinstein, the CBS Morning News had a very good interview with a doctor who decided that he was going to discuss sex addiction. Of course, they're going to talk about it, and I'm going to chime in.
The country's growing sexual misconduct scandal is putting a new focus on a controversial field, sex addiction rehab. More than 80 women accuse Harvey Weinstein of sexual harassment or assault, and more than a dozen men allege sexual misconduct by Kevin Spacey.
You know, this whole Kevin Spacey thing is so funny to me. It's been known for years that not only was this guy a flaming faggot, but that he was a predator in Hollywood. This should have been known for years. So I don't understand why all of a sudden everybody tried to act shocked. You know, what this storyline really is, it's a little bit of backwash from the so-called female harassment issue in Hollywood. That's really what they wanted the story to stick with. They didn't want to have to do any stories about homosexual predators and pedophilia in Hollywood. That's why you notice they kind of just let those stories come in a little bit, but then they kind of pushing them out. The Corey Haim issue kind of popped up a little bit, and they pushed it back out. They really just want to keep the Harvey Weinstein thing going because, once again, they want the females to be empowered in Hollywood. Like I'm telling you guys, they've been trying to socially engineer society through Hollywood. And now they want to make the woman much more of an integral figure in Hollywood and on TV and in movies. So as I've been saying, expect to see many more female directors and female lead characters, especially in action movies. All right. But they don't care about stuff like this with Kevin Spacey. They don't care about him fondling little boys or fondling teenagers and grabbing men and all this other shit. They don't care about that.
Both men are now reportedly being treated at the same upscale rehab facility in Wickenburg, Arizona.
Imagine Kevin Spacey and Harvey Weinstein at the same sexual addiction clinic. I mean, damn, they must be climbing the walls.
But is sex addiction a proven diagnosis or just an excuse to retreat from the public eye? Jamie Yuccas went to Phoenix to speak with the founder of the program, who wouldn't confirm the identities of any of his patients. This is an interview you'll see only on CBS This Morning.
A little more than an hour north of Phoenix is the 35-acre sex addiction treatment center, Gentle Path at the Meadows.
The Gentle Path. I bet you Harvey walked in the Gentle Path. Shit, I like it rough. Fuck all this. I got 4 inches of thunder. The fuck I wanted gentle for?
The voluntary 45-day treatment costs $58,000. Founder Patrick Carnes first popularized the term sex addiction.
All I know is Jamie Yuccas better not walk into Harvey's room dressed like that, because Harvey finna tear something up. He probably ain't had no coochie in about a week. That man, I guarantee you, he jonesing right now like a heroin addict. He probably looking out the window with a pair of binoculars looking, who that bitch?
In the early 1980s.
Like any other addiction, it's a problem where a person loses their ability to choose. It's a brain disease.
Carnes says an addict's behaviors can range from watching porn excessively to touching or exposing oneself in inappropriate ways. Harvey Weinstein and Kevin Spacey join a list of celebrities who've reportedly sought treatment for sex addiction.
Let me say this quickly, because a brother asked me in the comments, I think it was in the video that I did on Martin Luther King, because I mentioned him being a pansexual. He would be what you call today a sex addict. And a brother asked me if there were any prayers in regards to sexual addiction and things of that nature. Brother, the only prayer that I do is the Lord's Prayer from Matthew, the 6th chapter. That's the only prayer that I pray. Okay? But in regards to sexual addiction, if you're going to ask me if there are certain passages in the scriptures that speak about sexual addiction, I mean, there are a lot of passages that you can read. I'll probably maybe I'll do a video on it, or maybe I'll just relegate it to this video. But when you read the book of Ecclesiasticus, I believe it's the 42nd chapter, it tells you to not behold every woman's beauty. Meaning what? Every fine woman that you see, you don't have to try to lay down with them. Okay? In Ecclesiasticus, the 9th chapter, it tells you to not sit down with another man's wife. You know, meaning what? You're not supposed to sit down at the wine with another man's wife, meaning you're not supposed to have drinks with another man's woman. You're not supposed to be in a private in a private setting with another man's woman. You really should not be having conversations with another man's woman. All right. These are little things that you are supposed to do to avoid silly shit. Now, we know we live in a society where relationships are whimsical. You never really quite know the capacity in which a woman is with a man. Sometimes a woman will tell you that she's single. Maybe she's not. Sometimes a woman will tell you that she's no longer with her man and she might still be with her man. But according to knowledge, that's how you must conduct yourself. So if a woman tells you that she's single or that she's not with her man, then you can proceed accordingly. If she tells you that she's still with her man, then you know. You have to relegate certain things. But these women today, they want to create their own standards. They want to have quote unquote male friends, which is really just emergency dick. They want to take phone numbers from colleagues or from other people as, as a just in case, just in case it don't work out with my man. I'm curious about how your dick might feel and so on and so forth. These are all little things that women do that men have to be aware of, and not from a controlling perspective, because the only person that you can really control is yourself in this society and really just in life in general. And that's what you have to be focused on. And that's why I always tell brothers, don't ever put anything on a pedestal, especially a so-called woman. Don't put anything on a pedestal other than the Most High. That's the only thing that you worship, because everything else can be gone tonight. All right. And sex is a beautiful thing. Pussy's a beautiful thing. Titties are a beautiful thing. Ass is a beautiful thing. We all know that. Let's be for real. All right. I'm not one of these over righteous dudes who tries to act like, I'm sitting in a cave for 24 hours a day, in a lotus position, praying to the Most High, and I'm a prophet. All this bullshit that a lot of these guys try to act like they doing today. A lot of over righteous dudes, 9 times out of 10, don't even understand the scriptures, just talking shit all damn day. We live in a real world. We have to attack real situations in a real way. All right. But brother, if you have an issue with that, the main thing that I would recommend that you do is make sure that you know if a woman has a man or not. All right. Sometimes you have to engage in certain things to raise your level of fastidiousness, whether it be fasting or praying. When you fast, I try to fast at least once a month. Fasting means what? No food, no water for 24 hours from sundown to sundown. You can do that more than once a month if you feel like you need to cleanse yourself, or you feel like you need to remove certain spirits that you feel like you want to get rid of, if you want to become a better person. All right. But in regards to prayers, no, there's no prayers. There's no prayers in regards to loving the fuck bitches, man. OK, I just deal with the Lord's Prayer and I keep it moving. That's it. I don't try to make things too fancy. Scriptures tell you that it's a light thing to serve the Most High. It's not laborious. It's not really too hard or difficult. All right. But that's the main thing. Be very, very careful in scenarios involving women. Be very careful in the situation that you involve yourself in regarding women. And that's what I was stating about Jameis Winston. He puts himself in bad situations with women. You never want to have yourself at the mercy of a woman, man. That is not a good situation, because the woman gets off on lies. They get off on lying. All right. Even when it doesn't even really benefit them, they get off on lying. So you must be very, very careful in those situations. But like the scriptures tell you, do not find yourself alone with a woman that's not your woman. And do not feel like you have to behold every woman's body. Meaning, you don't have every woman that you see that's fine as hell. You don't got to be trying to fuck them. When you look at a woman anywhere in this society, you got to look at the inner person, because most of these bitches are crazy and deranged. All right. Oh, there's some good women out there. Of course there are. But they're few and very fucking far between.
Including Tiger Woods and...
Look at Tiger Woods. Look at all these guys. All these guys fell over bitches, man. Every last one of them. Every last one of them, man. Because they could not give up their ass. And like I said, ass is a beautiful thing. Coochie's wonderful. Titties are great. I get it. But, sometimes you have to have your mind on other things. Your mind just can't be on busting a nut all the damn time. All right? That does become an addiction. The same way a glass of wine is nice. For those of you who drink beer, maybe you like your beer every once in a while. But when you become an alcoholic, when you become dependent on alcohol, that is something that is deleterious to you as a person. And it's the same thing with coochie. Coochie will get you in a situation that you cannot get out of. Look at King David. Look at Solomon. Look at Samson. Look at Adam. right? They all put women on a pedestal. And look at what happened to them.
And Anthony Weiner. Dr. Damon Raskin is with the Drug and Alcohol Treatment Center, Cliffside, Malibu. He says sex addiction is not a recognized disorder, and therapy can be a PR stunt.
If you call something an addiction, then it gives something to do. You know, you have people like celebrities that can then use that as a disease model and go off to a rehab center where they can spend a lot of money and try to get the help that they need.
Dr. Raskin says brain scans of people claiming sex addiction don't match those addicted to drugs.
So what? They never found a gay gene either, but you motherfuckers teach that people are born gay? So, I mean, shit. Look, in all reality, I don't expect them to find any type of brain function that is, that would reveal some form of sex addiction. All sex addiction is a mental issue that you have to handle and that you have to deal with like anything else. All right? You have to mature out of that and you have to move away from that. You just do. You got to learn how to keep things in their proper place and in their proper perspective. Maybe stop going to the club or stop going to the bar and meeting all these random women. But like I've said already, hey, you have concubines out here for a reason. Okay? I don't expect men to be like monks, just sitting up with a rock hard phallus, acting like you praying all day. You full of shit. All right? Most High created the woman. He said, be fruitful and multiply. In other words, he told Adam, go enjoy your wife. But you also have to keep things in their proper perspective, in their proper place. You don't let things go overboard. You don't want to be like Martin Luther King. Talking about free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty. My dick is free at last.
The American Psychiatric Association does not recognize sex addiction as a mental illness.
There's no good evidence showing that sex addiction is a true addiction like drug and alcohol addiction.
There are a number of doctors we've talked to who say sex addiction isn't real.
Whenever there is a scientific breakthrough, there's controversy. The reality is the evidence for the brain disease of addiction is overwhelming.
Treatment at Gentle Path includes meditation, journaling, group therapy, and neurofeedback.
Yeah, meditation is good as well. Meditation to me is just prayer and fasting. All right. When you pray and you fast, it raises your mental acuity. It raises your discipline. It improves your recall. You also slim down. All these things are good. I mean, food is an addiction also. All type of things are an addiction. So, yes, I agree with the notion of a sex addiction or those of us who understand or read the scriptures will call a demon. All right. It's just an over infatuation with something. People can put anything on a pedestal. You have people who are addicted to cars. You have people who are addicted to money, to food, to alcohol, to drugs, to women. All right. That's just you putting that on a pedestal. You have to find a way to limit that or relegate that to its proper place, to its proper perspective. If you feel like you cannot live without something, then that's idolatry, unless you're talking about the Most High. All right, so you need to handle that, not just with sex, but anything else.
Patients are asked to commit to a celibacy contract of at least 8 weeks, examining sexual fantasies and creating a relapse prevention plan.
So this isn't a vacation?
Not a vacation. It's like boot camp.
Karn says it can take up to 5 years with extensive therapy to reprogram an addict's brain. Still, his facility doesn't release data on how many patients make a full recovery. But as the list of those accused of sexual misconduct continues to grow, Karns hopes the headlines will help create change.
And I mean, this is nothing. Like Kevin Spacey, Louis C.K., Brett Ratner. Brett Ratner, by the way, was the little fat Jewish dude who used to, who used to be with Serena Williams. I was about to say used to have sex with her, but who knows what the hell was going on with that? He might have been a chick in that relationship. Little Caucasian Jewish dude. You know how they get down. I mean, shit. Allegedly, anyway. He put the P in pansexual. He probably met Serena Williams in the men's bathroom. Who knows? Allegedly.
I think this will be one of the most significant periods in our history. The good news in this is this conversation.
For CBS This Morning, Jamie Yuccas, Phoenix.
And we reached out to both Spacey and Weinstein for comment. We have not heard back from Spacey, and a spokesman for Weinstein told us they won't comment about reports of his treatment.
Of course they're not gonna comment. How the hell you gonna reach Kevin Spacey or Harvey Weinstein? You know, they in their room Jones and climbing the damn wall. Lord knows what they're doing. Probably trying to dig a tunnel out of that place. You know. But anyway, brothers, the point being is that yes, sexual addiction is a real thing. You don't want to put the woman on a pedestal. I'll probably go deeper into this topic another time. But yeah, man. Putting a woman on a pedestal is only going to lead to your downfall, your destruction. There's many women in prison. There's many men in prison. There's many men having to go back and forth to court, bugging out their mind because they put pussy on a pedestal. Vagina is a great thing. You know, just like all the other things that the Most High put on the planet for us to enjoy. But you cannot use it inordinately. Okay? Or it's only going to bring instability and imbalance into your life. And you see it with people like Harvey Weinstein. Okay? And a lot of these other people. You know, hell, you saw it with Martin Luther King. Because of what Martin Luther King was doing, because he could not control his urges, it created a situation where, what's his name? J. Edgar Hoover had a whole bunch of dirt on him. All right? But anyway, peace.